Welcome everyone. My name is Mariana Svarnik and I will be your host today. And our instruction for tonight's session of Sahaja Online Evening Meditation is David Dunphy. I will hand it over to him soon, but before that, just a few of the housekeeping notes. So all of your lines are muted. We cannot hear you or see you. The only way we can actually communicate with you or receive communication from you is when you contact us through Q&A or through the chat function. And so you're welcome to do it at any time during the session, and I will be monitoring these. Please adjust your computer volume to your preference so that you're comfortable. Please sit comfortably. If it is possible, please remove any distractions, maybe mute your devices so that you can really enjoy this session. Our presentation will run for 30-35 minutes, more or less. We will leave about 5 minutes for Q&A at the end. And again, the Q&A, you can ask your questions if you have them through the chat or through the Q&A function itself. And with that, I'm looking forward to our session today, and I will hand it over to Dave.
Thank you, Mariana. So for those of you that are here for the first time with me, I just thought I would tell you just a bit about myself. I first became interested in meditation in the early 80s in San Diego after graduating from college in architecture and moved out to California. And I began to express that interest by reading voraciously about the subject. And as you can imagine, after about 6 months of doing that, I became very frustrated because, of course, you don't learn about meditation by reading about it. You learn about it by doing it. So I came upon the practice of Sahaja meditation and felt interesting things happening in the very first meditation. And after a short number of sessions, I had an experience that my rationality could not deny. And ever since that time, I've been practicing Sahaja meditation to this day. And it's been a growing and changing experience throughout that period of time. And what that whole exercise taught me is that really you have to actually do meditation. You have to engage in it rather than trying to study it like a scholar. It's something that has to awaken from within, which I'll explain a little bit more about later. And hopefully you all will have a good meditation tonight. And we want to, before we begin formally, kind of find out who's here, what you're after this evening, whether you've ever come to a meditation session before on Sahaja Online. So if you wouldn't mind just doing a quick poll that Mariana is going to pull up. It'll ask you things like, have you been before? How often do you meditate if you do? Why are you coming? Is it for stress? Is it for spirituality? So if we can just kind of quickly respond to that poll so we know what your goals are and how you heard about us, and then submit that, and then Mariana will post the results, and then we can kind of tailor our program to those that are in attendance tonight.
I will post the results right now.
Okay, so it looks like we have an experienced individual or two joining us tonight. So we'll tailor the program accordingly, and I think we'll kind of just move Mariana all the way to the meditation session, and maybe we could just pull up the chart, and I'll talk just a little bit about what we're going to do this evening. So we'd like to just, for a quick review, the inner energy, which is located at number 1 at the base of the spine, in the sacrum bone. When it awakens, it passes through 6 of 7 subtle centers, and then emits from the fontanelle area of the brain. And at that moment, we experience the state of thoughtless awareness. But to get there, sometimes we have to do a little bit of undoing of what we might have accumulated in our active day. And a lot of times this is really a result of either exercising a little bit too much of the left side or the right side channel within us. The left side channel, which is represented by the blue line on this diagrammatic representation you see on your screen, is the channel of our desire, our emotions, and our conditionings. So when we are kind of using our emotions a lot, or let's say we might become a little bit depressed or lethargic, we are using the limited energy of the left side. And it makes it a little bit difficult for the Kundalini to rise beyond the number 6, the Agnya chakra that you see on the chart. By contrast, if we are utilizing the energy of the right side, which is the yellow channel that we see on the chart, that accumulates in the form of ego, this is this channel of our action, thinking, and planning. And when we, in modern life particularly, exert ourselves a lot, we're working, we're going to work and back in traffic, we might be exercising a lot, we might be thinking a lot, doing a lot of analysis. All of these types of things are utilizing the limited energy of the right side. And this afflicts many of us in the way modern life is today, because of the nature of things, the speed of life. And either too much use of the left or too much use of the right are really utilizing channels within our subtle instrument that are technically evolutionary dead ends. They don't really involve our ascent, and their energy is limited. When we are in the center, the central channel, called in Sanskrit as Sushumna, we are tapping into the energy that is unlimited, especially when the Kundalini rises and pierces the fontanelle area. We begin to draw energy from the unconscious. We draw energy from an unlimited source, from the divine. So we want to try and stay on the central channel as much as we can. Even when we're not meditating, we can try to keep our attention in the center and on the number 7, called as the crown or the Sahasrara. Even while driving in a car, we can keep our attention on this center and be in a state actually of thoughtless awareness while we are engaging in other activities. This is ideal because we are not activating the left or the right while we maintain our attention in the center. And therefore, when we actually do sit down to formally meditate, it's a lot easier. There's a lot less for the Kundalini to undo, to bring down the left or the right side, to prepare the road for our meditation, our real meditation and thoughtless awareness. So tonight, I'd like to just, because it's a working day on a Friday, and most of us have been at work today, I'd like to undergo just a quick clearing process for the left and right side. Since those that are in attendance tonight have been to many sessions, and I'm assuming that you've been online to look at the raising of the Kundalini and putting yourselves into Bandhan. So we're going to go ahead and do that tonight, since those that have come are experienced. And I'll try to move back just a little bit from the camera so you can see a little bit better. But we'll start with our left hand just in front of the lowest center, the number 1, and our right hand just above it. And we will, with the right hand, circle away from the body and slowly raise our left hand in front of the central channel, tilt the head back, and give it a twist as if tying in a knot. Then we will take the left hand back down, place it in front of the number 1 center, with the right hand above, and again, circling away from the body, we'll slowly raise the left hand in front of the central channel, bring it to the top, tilt the head back, and again, act as if tying it in a knot. And finally, on the third time, we will take the left hand back down in front of the central channel in front of number 1 and slowly raise the left hand with the right hand circling away from the body. And this time we'll tilt the head back, give it a twist, tie it once, give it a twist, tie it twice, give it a twist, tie it 3 times. All right, this sets the stage, as you probably already know, for being able to meditate. It raises the Kundalini within us. And then one second technique that we typically do before each meditation to help set the stage and facilitate the process is called a bandhan, which is basically means a bond of protection around us. So we start with our left hand open and on our laps, and we have our right hand in front of the left channel down low, just at the juncture of hip and torso. And we raise our left hand in front of the left channel up over the top of the head and down the right. Then we raise it back up the right channel over the top of the head and down the left. Now, each one of these motions over and back is called a bandhan, and we do it 7 times, 1 for each of the subtle centers or chakras. So let's, again, on this number 2, can raise the hand up over the top, down the right, then back up the right channel, over the top, down the left. That's 2. Then up the left, over the top and down the right. That's, and then back, up the right, down the left. That's 3. So over to the right and back is 4. Over and back is 5. Over and back is 6. Over and back is 7. So this is a bandhan, and it has the dual effect of both putting a bond of protection around us and helping a bit to balance the left and right side. So we're going to now work on first clearing the left hand channel, and we can just kind of close our eyes, and we're going to try to settle into meditation a little bit. And we're going to put our right hand towards the Mother Earth and our left hand open and on our lap. And let's sit like this just for a short period and see if we can feel the vibrations in our left hand become cool and the flow become steady. All right, the flow feels pretty good on the left hand. So we can take the right palm and open it and place it on our lap. And then let's now take the left hand and lift it so it's basically facing over our left shoulder. And this will allow us to take vibrations in through the right hand to cool down the right channel and to exhaust the heat, the subtle heat, through the left side and through the left hand. So let's sit for a minute or so and see if we can't get the right side to cool down, which we'll feel by evidence of, the cool breeze increasing on our right hand. So let's sit for a minute or so in silence. All right, feeling like the flow is there on the right hand, so we can take the left hand back down and place it facing up on our laps. And now let's take the right hand and just place it at the top of the head, at that number 7 center that we were looking at earlier, and just press it slightly. Just let your attention rest where your right hand is. Let it settle there. Now let's take the right hand and just raise it about 6 inches above the top of the head, and see if we can feel the flow of the cool breeze on the right hand. All right, let's take the right hand and rest it back upon our laps. Now let's take the left hand and just place it about 6 inches above the top of the head, and see if we can feel, once again, the cool breeze. All right, let's rest the left palm back on our laps, and let's make ourselves comfortable. And let's see if we can settle into the state of thoughtless awareness. We'll play some soft music to accompany us. And then after the music ends, we'll sit for a little while longer in silence just to experience that difference as well. So let's make ourselves comfortable, make sure our eyes are closed, and let's settle into meditation. All right, let's all just slowly open our eyes. So hopefully everyone felt when we were balancing the left and the right side, the cool breeze on the left and on the right hand when we checked above our heads. If there was a difference between the two hands, in other words, let's say as an example, the right hand felt less vibrations than the left, or heat versus cool, then we might be experiencing what the founder of this practice, Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, described as being right-sided, or having a tendency to overexert in our action, thinking, and planning, and therefore activation of the right side. And then this then depletes that channel and our ability to feel vibrations on the right hand. So when we were having the left hand up and the right hand out, this was giving vibrations to the right side, cooling it down. So hopefully it was in relative balance. But if there was a difference, that might be an explanation. By contrast, if the left hand was feeling less than the right, or was feeling heat, we might be what the founder described as a little bit more left-sided. In other words, a little bit more on our emotions, a little bit more on conditionings, the past perhaps, whereas the right side is more thinking about the future. So if you felt any difference between the hands, then whenever you meditate, you can just stay in the position whereby you're giving nourishment to that side a little bit longer. So in the case of the left, right hand down towards the Mother Earth, left hand open and facing out to receive the energy and to cool down that channel. And usually the right amount of time is when you start to feel the cool breeze on that hand. There's no prescribed set amount of time other than it cools down and you can feel the flow. So hopefully all of you were able to feel both the balance of the left and right channel, as well as the Kundalini above the head. And hopefully you were able to enter into the state of thoughtless awareness in tonight's session. So I think at this point, we will conduct a brief poll to find out how it was for you, if anything could have been done differently. And we'll also do Q&A as well. So if any of you have any questions about anything that you felt or didn't feel, please feel free to use the chat function. Mariana will pass those on to me and I'll do my best to answer them. So, but if you could fill out the quick post-meditation poll so we know how things went, that would be great. And also, please take advantage of the Sahaja Online website. There are other clearing techniques that are presented there that will help you to clear the subtle system and the way for this inner energy to rise and therefore experience a deeper state of thoughtless awareness. Things like foot soaking, using the ice pack on the liver, and other techniques are there that you can avail yourself of depending upon what you're feeling in your meditation. So it looks like everyone felt the inner energy above the head, had complete silence, and seems like there's a good relative balance between explanation and meditation. So that's great. Glad everyone enjoyed it. And we really want to thank you all for coming. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Sahaja Online.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dave. And see you all next time. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks,
It
Mariana.
was very nice. Good night.
Good night.